Listen carefully. This message is not for everyone. Some people clicked away already because their spirit cannot handle what is about to be revealed. But you stayed, because something inside you has been restless lately. Something inside you knows God is doing something dangerous through your life. You felt it in the silence. You felt it during the heartbreak. You felt it when everybody walked away and you were left alone with nothing but your prayers and your tears. Hear this clearly. They underestimated you because they judged your brokenness. But they never saw the oil God placed on your life. They laughed when you struggled. They ignored you when you were suffering. They betrayed you when you were loyal. They abandoned you when you needed love the most. But what they failed to understand was that God was hiding you, preparing you, separating you, strengthening you, because heaven never exposes a chosen one before the appointed time. And now, the same people who ignored you, the same people who doubted you, the same people who spoke against your name, can feel something changing. They cannot explain it, but they feel it. Your spirit has shifted. Your presence has shifted. Your energy has shifted. God is transforming you in front of their eyes, and it terrifies them, because the person they tried to destroy did not break. You survived the pain. You survived the betrayal. You survived the spiritual warfare. And now heaven is about to elevate you publicly. God is saying, they thought the battle would finish you, but the battle introduced you to your true power. Listen. This was never just an attack on your life. This was a war against your destiny, because darkness recognized your calling before you did. That is why your life has been so difficult. That is why you have always felt different. Why you never fit in. Why you outgrew people so quickly. Why your soul always felt older than your age. You are chosen, and chosen ones do not have ordinary lives. They walk through fire before they reach purpose. They cry in secret before they rise in public. They endure isolation before elevation. And right now, you are standing at the edge of transformation. The season of suffering is ending. The season of revelation is beginning. God is saying, they underestimated my child, and now they are terrified of what I created. Listen carefully. One of the hardest things about being chosen is that nobody understands what God is doing in your life while He is doing it. People only celebrate the glory. They never understand the process. They never see the nights you cried yourself to sleep, the moments you questioned everything, the times you begged God for answers while heaven stayed silent. But hear this clearly. God's silence was never abandonment. It was preparation while everybody thought you were losing. God was building something inside you that could not be destroyed, because chosen ones are not created through comfort. They are created through pressure, through betrayal, through loneliness, through spiritual warfare. And your suffering was never random. Every tear had purpose. Every rejection had purpose. Every heartbreak had purpose. God allowed certain people to walk away because they could not enter the next season of your life. Some people were assignments, not destinies. Some people were lessons, not lifelong companions. And yes, it hurt, because you loved deeply. You stayed loyal. You gave people your heart, even when your own soul was exhausted. But many people only knew how to use your kindness. And when God saw that your spirit was being drained, He removed them, not to punish you, to protect you. Listen, some separations are heaven's rescue mission. You thought you were being rejected, but God was removing distractions. You thought your world was falling apart, but heaven was clearing the path. Hear this clearly. The isolation you experienced was not meant to destroy you. It was meant to introduce you to God, Because when God wants to transform a chosen one, He separates them from noise, from fake love, from confusion, from environments that suffocate destiny, and suddenly you found yourself alone. Nobody checking on you, nobody understanding you, nobody seeing your pain. But during that loneliness, something powerful happened. You started hearing God more clearly. You started noticing signs, small confirmations, divine warnings, moments that could not be explained logically, because spiritual awakening often begins in isolation. And that scared people around you. They noticed you changing. You became quieter, more observant, more spiritually aware. You stopped chasing validation. You stopped begging to be accepted. You stopped shrinking yourself for people who could never appreciate your heart. And suddenly, the same people who once overlooked you started watching you closely, because your spirit began carrying authority. Listen carefully. Chosen ones carry something that cannot be faked. It is not money. It is not status. It is not appearance. It is spiritual weight. And when God places His hand on someone, even demons recognize it. That is why you have experienced strange battles, sudden betrayals, unexpected attacks, people hating you for no reason, false accusations, jealousy from people you helped, because your presence exposes darkness, and darkness becomes uncomfortable around light. Hear this clearly. Not everybody celebrating you is happy for you. Some people study chosen ones because they are intimidated by them. They watch your resilience, your peace, your endurance, and they cannot understand how you are still standing after everything you survived. But they never saw the private battles. They never saw you praying through panic, crying through exhaustion, holding yourself together while your soul felt shattered. Listen, there were moments you almost gave up. Moments where the pain became unbearable. Moments where you questioned your purpose. Moments where you asked God, "Why is my life so heavy?" And heaven heard every word. God saw every tear, every sleepless night, every silent breakdown. Every moment you kept going even when your heart was tired. And God is saying today, I never left you. Even when the room felt empty, He was there. Even when people betrayed you, He was there. Even when your prayers seemed unanswered, He was there, working behind the scenes, rearranging your future, protecting you from battles you never even knew existed. Listen carefully. The enemy thought isolation would weaken you, but isolation trained you. It taught you discernment. It taught you strength. It taught you how to survive without applause, without validation, without support. And now, you no longer need people to believe in you for you to trust God. That is power. Hear this clearly. The version of you that is emerging now is dangerous, not dangerous through anger, dangerous through spiritual authority. You survived things that should have broken you, and survival changed you. The fire purified you, the pain matured you, the betrayal awakened you. Now your discernment is sharper, your spirit is stronger, your connection with God is deeper, and people can feel it. That is why some people suddenly became distant, because your growth convicts them, your peace exposes their chaos, your discipline exposes their excuses, your faith exposes their fear. Listen. Some people were comfortable with the broken version of you, but they become terrified when they see you healing, because healed chosen ones are unstoppable. God is saying, they were comfortable when you doubted yourself, but now you know who you are, and once a chosen one discovers their identity, everything changes. You stop begging for love. You stop chasing approval. You stop lowering your standards. You stop explaining your worth, because you finally realize God already validated you. Hear this carefully. The attacks increased because your breakthrough is near. The warfare intensified because heaven is preparing elevation. The pressure became unbearable because transformation is happening. The enemy attacks hardest when he senses purpose awakening. But God is saying, you survived every attack because I placed strength inside you before the battle even began. Think about everything you overcame. You are still here, still breathing, still fighting, still believing. That is not weakness. That is evidence of divine covering. Listen carefully. People thought your silence meant weakness. But your silence was spiritual construction. God was rebuilding your mind, your heart, your spirit, your confidence, your identity. And now, the same people who underestimated you can feel your elevation approaching. That is why some are nervous around you now, because your energy no longer seeks permission. Your spirit no longer fears rejection. You have suffered too much to stay small. Hear this clearly. God allowed you to walk through darkness so you would become light for others. Your testimony is going to heal people. Your survival is going to inspire people. Your breakthrough is going to shock people. Because nobody expected you to rise after everything you endured. But that is the power of God. He specializes in resurrection. He brings strength out of suffering, purpose out of pain, victory out of devastation. And now, your season is changing. Doors are opening. Discernment is increasing. Peace is returning. Confidence is rising. And the people who laughed before can no longer laugh because heaven is revealing who you truly are. God is saying, my child, you were hidden, not forgotten. Remember this. Diamonds are created under pressure. Oil is produced through crushing. And chosen ones are born through suffering. Everything you survived was preparing you for the assignment attached to your life. So do not hate your process. Do not resent your loneliness. Do not curse the season that built your strength. Because one day, you will realize the pain was shaping the very power that now terrifies those who underestimated you. Hear this clearly. Something is shifting in your life right now. You can feel it. The old version of you is dying. The fearful version, the insecure version, the version that tolerated disrespect. The version that kept begging people to stay. God is removing that person forever, because where He is taking you, you cannot carry the mindset of survival anymore. You are entering a season of authority. Listen carefully. The reason your spirit has felt restless lately is because heaven is preparing movement. Chosen ones always feel uncomfortable before elevation, because God begins pulling them away from environments that no longer match their destiny. Suddenly, conversations feel empty. Certain friendships feel forced. Places that once felt familiar now feel heavy. That is not random. That is spiritual transition. God is disconnecting you from your old season. And yes, it feels lonely. Transformation always does. Because not everybody can go where God is taking you. Hear this clearly. Some people were assigned to your past, not your future. And the hardest truth for chosen ones to accept is that sometimes the people you loved the most were never sent to help you grow. Some were sent to test your discernment. Some were sent to expose your wounds. Some were sent to teach you how to stop abandoning yourself. Listen. The betrayal nearly destroyed you because your heart was genuine. You loved deeply. You forgave repeatedly. You gave people chance after chance, even while your own soul was bleeding. But God is saying, no more. No more shrinking. No more settling. No more allowing fake people access to your spirit, because your calling is too important to be surrounded by confusion. Hear this clearly. There are people who secretly hoped you would fail, people who smiled in your face while doubting your future, People who enjoyed watching you struggle because your light intimidated them. But now, everything is changing. Because God is lifting your spirit out of survival mode, you are becoming stronger emotionally, stronger mentally, stronger spiritually. And people can feel the shift before you even speak. Listen carefully. When a chosen one begins awakening, their entire presence changes, their eyes change, their energy changes, their discernment changes. They stop ignoring red flags. They stop entertaining negativity. They stop chasing what God already removed. And suddenly, the people who once controlled access to love, validation, or acceptance lose power over you. That terrifies them, because broken people are easier to manipulate, but healed chosen ones, dangerous. God is saying, I allowed the pain to teach you your value, and now you finally understand. Not everybody deserves access to your heart. Not everybody deserves your energy. Not everybody deserves your loyalty. Listen carefully. The reason you survived what destroyed others is because God placed endurance inside your spirit. You were never ordinary. That is why your life has felt different since childhood. You always sensed things deeply. You noticed energy others ignored. You felt disconnected from superficial environments. You struggled to fit in because your spirit was never designed for shallow living. Hear this clearly. Chosen ones often feel alone because their soul is carrying divine purpose. And purpose creates separation. God isolates before He elevates. He removes distractions before revelation. He breaks attachment before breakthrough. That is why your life has been a cycle of endings and new beginnings. God was teaching you not to build your identity around temporary people, because your true identity comes from Him. Listen, there were seasons where you felt invisible, overlooked, forgotten, unappreciated. But heaven was watching everything, every act of kindness, every silent sacrifice. Every prayer whispered through tears. God saw it all. And now, the reward season is approaching. Hear this clearly. Your breakthrough will not just be emotional, it will be visible. People are about to witness the transformation they never believed possible. The confidence, the peace, the opportunities, the favor, the restoration. God is about to honor the endurance nobody applauded. Listen carefully. Some people are shocked you did not collapse. After everything they put you through, they expected bitterness, hatred, failure, but instead, you became wiser, stronger, closer to God. That is what terrifies darkness, because pain was supposed to destroy you, but it awakened you instead. Hear this clearly. The next version of your life requires courage, because elevation attracts attention, and not everybody celebrating your success will genuinely support you. This is why discernment matters now more than ever. God is saying, protect your peace. Not every invitation is from God. Not every opportunity is aligned. Not every relationship deserves access to your spirit. Listen, your sensitivity is not weakness. It is spiritual intelligence. You feel things deeply because God designed you to discern beyond appearances. Stop apologizing for your intuition. Stop ignoring the warnings God sends, the discomfort, the uneasy feeling, the repeated signs. Heaven has been speaking to you all along. Hear this clearly. The delay was not denial. God was timing everything perfectly. Because if certain blessings had arrived earlier, you would not have been emotionally ready to carry them. The pain matured you. The waiting refined you. The silence strengthened your faith. And now, you are finally becoming the person your destiny requires. Listen carefully. You are not crazy for feeling different. You are awakening. You are remembering who God created you to be before the world tried to break your spirit.